Hi there, welcome to another video guide for Hell Let Loose. This time I'll be focusing on one of the most important and game-defining roles that you can play as, the squad leader. If you've already been playing the game for some time and you've already grasped the various game mechanics like node building, supplies, sector capturing and so on, taking on the role of squad leader is the next logical step for every experienced player. In this role, you will be able to do more for your team than perhaps in any other, with maybe the exception of commander. So, what does it take to be a good squad leader? Well, according to several of the more experienced squad leaders over at Team Dix, it boils down to building garrisons, leadership, communication, and map awareness. So let's tackle each of these in order. As you probably already know, garrisons and outposts can be placed by squad leaders to create spawn points for your team or your squad respectively. These garrisons are your team's lifeline. They are the embodiment of map control, so the more you have, the more control you have over the game. Each team is limited to a total of 10 garrisons, which you shouldn't be afraid to reach. There is no situation where having 8 garrisons is better than 10. Unless those 10 garrisons are really badly placed. I've already done a video on garrison placement and you can find the link for that on the top right or in the video description, so check that out for a deeper explanation and a deeper dive into this. But the most basic principle and the one you need to always respect is that you want to have at least 3 garrisons around each point. Whether they are placed in a line, as a semicircle or a triangle around the strong point depends on personal preference and the opportunities presented. But here's something that I cannot stress enough. If you notice that there's not enough garrisons around your defensive positions, it is your job to do something about it. The first thing you should do is check if there are other squad leaders around, and if there are, just ask them to place some garrisons. If they don't answer, delay, or place just one, you should immediately consider dropping whatever it is that you're doing and fall back in order to build proper garrisons around each point. Without garrisons to fall back and defend, the enemy can easily get a head start by placing their own as soon as the territory gets unlocked. If that happens, the entire enemy team can redeploy on the objective before you're even leaving your headquarters to try to take it back. This is the number one reason that you will see teams getting trampled over in public matches. And the reason these defensive garrisons don't get built is because everyone wants to go on the attack. As a squad leader, you not only need to recognize but take action in these situations before they become a problem. No garrisons? Get your squad to build them. The commander is asking for nodes but nobody volunteers to build them? Well, you and your squad are now on building duty. If nobody is playing defense, then it is up to you to fall back and do it. You can always ask other squad leaders to help, but the true mark of a good squad leader is being able to stop attacking, stop indulging in the heroics and satisfaction of shooting enemy troops, and doing what needs to be done before it is too late. You will always have a better chance at winning if you take the time to do these things. Garrison placement is just as important on the offensive, with the added difficulty of constantly running into enemy troops, which means that they should be getting destroyed more often. A good way to keep your attack going is to place a garrison 2 or more squares away from your objective and place additional garrisons as you close in on the enemy. That garrison that's further away will provide a more permanent presence for your offense and can also allow you to flank the enemy position if needed. To complement these advances, you should place your outpost as an advanced, more flexible spawn point. Given that they can't be destroyed with grenades and provide a faster respawn time, they are more suited to being in a more dangerous spot, allowing your squad to rapidly redeploy near the point that you are trying to take. As a general rule, outposts should never be placed near garrisons, since that makes them redundant and makes your entire position more vulnerable to getting overrun by a single enemy. Another key role for the squad leader is communication and leadership. You will see that both of these are intertwined quite heavily and are sometimes even one and the same. If you want to be effective in this game, you'll quickly notice that using the voice chat is key. As a squad leader, you need to communicate what's going on, what you're doing, and why to your own squad and relay any important information that you might be getting from the commander to them. So let's imagine a common scenario. You hop into a server and you make an infantry unit. Soon you have your squad full with 5 people you've probably never played with before. Maybe you know a couple of them, maybe you don't. So how do you get these random people to follow your orders, and why should they even care? Well, there's a reason it takes some time for the first infantry squads to get created in most public matches. Very few people want to play as squad leader, and a lot of them will just create a squad in order to be able to spawn. That means most squad leaders don't actually care or know how to properly play as one. So when players meet a squad leader that talks, that sets up rally points, that conveys what the plan is, they tend to react positively. A lot of people like the idea of having a squad leader that can lead them into better gameplay, or at least respect someone that is trying his best. There's a chance though that you might run into someone that is completely unresponsive, or even worse, being openly hostile towards you and other squad members. You can always kick these people out of the squad while in the deploy screen, especially if they take on a critical role such as a support. A bad support player that doesn't know what they're doing or doesn't pay attention to his squad leader can sabotage the entire squad. So at the start of the match, let your squad know what's the plan. Will you be going directly to the objective, or will you be playing defense? Do you need someone to switch his roles? Maybe, I don't know, you need an engineer instead of a machine gunner. Tell your supply guy where you want to build the garrison and ask him to redeploy every single time that he uses his supplies. Crack some jokes, even if they're bad ones. You might feel embarrassed or feel weird giving people orders, but most people will like the fact that their squad leader is at least trying to communicate and will appreciate the effort. As the match progresses, try to keep your squad together. You might not need all of them near you at all times, like when you're building nodes or garrisons, but let them know what to push, where to defend, or if they need to spread out and look for enemy garrisons. Encourage them and compliment them when they take down a point, or when they successfully stop an enemy attack. This will keep them engaged and make them more likely to follow you when you ask them to redeploy or change objectives. I know maybe I sound like one of those corporate leadership workshops, but trust me, it does work. But dealing with your squad is really only half the battle. The rest of your job at communicating has to do with the commander and the other squad leaders. The commander voice channel is perhaps the most jarring and difficult part of learning to be a squad leader. You will often hear a lot of nonsense and unnecessary information, and you might have several people talking over at once while you're trying to talk to your own squad. This channel should be used only to relay tactical information, such as where an enemy tank is or where an enemy garrison is, whether your squad will fall back on defense or if you'll construct nodes and stuff like that. If you're attacking the enemy strongpoint and you see 2 enemies, that's not unexpected and it's not useful information either, so it shouldn't be relayed in the commander chat. Your other tool for communicating is the pinging system, which is actually really comprehensive. By holding down the mouse wheel or right-clicking on the map, you can select from a variety of different callouts that will remain in the map until you reuse them or click on them. Some of these are visible only by your squad, your commander, or other squad leaders, so make sure you check that, which can be done quite easily. Using your binoculars is actually one of the best ways to get map intel that you might need to relay to your other squad leaders. You might think that they're a gimmick, but they're really not. They do allow you to see enemy soldiers and structures that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise, so use them. Using both these commands and a mixture of the voice comms should allow you to relay all the important information to your team and your squad members. Lastly, I will say something about the importance of map awareness. The worst thing that you can see a squad leader do is forgetting to drop a garrison when supplies are already available. Time and time again, you will see squad leaders running around and not notice that they have supplies nearby that they could use to build a garrison. So be aware of the map. Be aware if the point is being captured that the garrisons will get destroyed, but you can use the 50 supplies that remain to build another one. Look at the position of your team. Look at where the garrisons are. Try to think where the enemy could attack from, where their garrisons could be. If you find an enemy spawn point, take out the map and think where the other ones could be located. This is something that you need to develop over time, but that will allow you to become a much more effective leader. So that's all you need to know. I can't teach you some of this stuff that comes from experience. That's something that you need to learn on your own. But if you have any more tips that you would like to share about being a squad leader, please leave a comment down below. If you like this video, make sure to check out the other videos in the channel and subscribe if you enjoy them. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one.